This is how to get the most out of your violin lessons. If you haven't met, hi, I'm Megan. I'm a violinist and teacher. I've been playing the violin for over 20 years. I have my bachelor's and master's degrees in violin performance, and I am Suzuki trained. If you're enjoying my videos, please just double tick and make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. It's easy and it's free and it really helps me out. And if you're interested in working with me, you can check the description for a private lesson application, as well as a waitlist for Learn Violin Online. Enrollment will be opening up in just a few short weeks at the end of this month. So be sure to grab your spot so you can be the first to know. If you're watching this video, I think it's safe to assume that you are taking violin lessons, you want to take violin lessons, or you are enrolled in some sort of online violin learning program, such as Learn Violin Online. And obviously, you want to make sure that you are getting the most out of it. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my best tips as someone who took violin lessons for over 15 years and who also obviously now teaches. So I think the first tip is to choose your teacher wisely. And in order to make the best decision on who should teach you the violin, you need to decide a couple things for yourself. First, you need to decide what is important to you on your violin journey. Maybe you want to just have fun and learn how to play your favorite songs. Maybe you want to pursue it professionally one day, maybe join a community orchestra, or maybe play gigs on the side. Or maybe you just want to master violin technique and be able to impress your friends with really cool pieces. Whatever your goals are, you need to find a teacher that can help you get there. Another really important thing to decide is the style of music you want to play. So me, I'm a classical musician. I teach Suzuki, I teach classical. And while I do think the skills that you learn via the Suzuki method can be applied to any genre you wish to play, if you're someone who's really just interested in learning to improvise or play by ear or play more Celtic music, then you and I might not be a great fit. You need to find a teacher that specializes in what you are trying to learn, specializes in the type of music that you're trying to learn, and one who also meets your learning style. It's not a bad idea to have a few lessons with different teachers and test them out, shall we say. Most teachers, including myself, do offer a discount for a trial lesson so you can see how well you work together and if you like their teaching style. If you're looking for a bit more of a hands-off approach, such as an online learning program, you want to be sure that that online learning program includes things that you are interested in learning, aka includes the pieces and the style of music that you're interested in learning. And also that whatever or however you're getting your instruction, it is abundantly clear. You also want to be sure that you do have some interaction with someone so that you can get your question answered and get feedback when you need it. Inside of Learn Violin Online, all of my students get feedback as much as they'd like. Make sure that they're always moving towards their goals. Now that you have a teacher or a learning program that works for you, you want to make sure that you are taking notes and getting clear, let's say, homework. So for example, with all of my private students, at the end of each lesson, I briefly give assignments for what I would like for them to practice that week and what the goals are for each of those assignments. And at the end of all of my videos inside of Learn Violin Online, I give a synopsis of what we learned in that video and we practice it together. Many of my private students do also take notes either during or right after the lesson, which I really encourage. When I was taking lessons myself, I would 1, videotape the lessons, and 2, write down notes right after my lesson. We're only human, right? We can't remember everything, so I think it's really, really important to write your assignments and your notes down. Next, you need to make sure that you are practicing consistently. If you're putting in not only like the time that it takes to go to lessons, but also maybe even more importantly, the money, you need to be practicing. The best instruction in the world is nothing without practice. I know, I wish there was just a magic wand I could wave and we would all become amazing musicians, but it just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. So yes, ideally you would be practicing every day, and the length of time that you practice would really have to depend on your ability level. If you're someone who wants to pursue this professionally, you need to be practicing between 3 to 5 hours a day. If you're someone who doesn't want to play professionally but wants to get really, really good, aim for 1 to 2 hours. And if you just kind of play as a hobby on a side, 30 minutes should be okay. 30 minutes to an hour, baby. But the length of time is less important than the consistency. When we practice, we are building up our muscle memory. And unfortunate thing about muscle memory is if you don't use it, you lose it. So it's better to practice consistently. And when you practice, you want to make sure that you, one, are planning out those practice sessions. So just take a couple minutes before you practice, decide how long you have to practice that day and what you're going to work on. And then two, you need to evaluate your practice sessions. How did you do? Do you feel like you accomplished your goals? A really common experience is that everything will make perfect sense in the lesson, and then you go to practice by yourself and nothing is working. I've had that experience so many times as a student. Everything's just better when your teacher's there. So when questions arise, as they inevitably do, you need to make sure that you are writing those down. Now, when I was a student, I had to wait until my next lesson, so like a week to ask my teacher questions. But now as a teacher myself, and with the beauty of the internet, my students can access me at any time. They can email me, they can shoot me a Facebook message, and I'm gonna get back to them the next day. Timely answers to your questions, I think, are very important, even more so if you're using an online learning platform. Because those do have less like one-on-one feedback and instruction, it's even more important that when you ask a question, you get a timely answer. And finally, the biggest thing that you can do to make sure you're getting the most out of your violin lesson is to trust. Trust your teacher, trust the process. Your teacher is your teacher for a reason. And if you are doubting everything that they tell you, or worse, not taking their advice, then what are you paying them for? I think it's very detrimental if you are working something in your on something in your lesson, and then after your lesson you just go and search YouTube or go and search the internet for answers. Now, I'm not saying to never do this, because I do think sometimes it can be helpful, especially if you're really, really struggling with something. But if you ask a question or are working on a technique with your teacher and they give you a process to follow, or they give you advice, or they give you an answer, follow that answer, take their advice. If you find that over time, again and again, this isn't working, their advice isn't good, then you probably need to change teachers, but not go scour the internet. So that is how to get the most out of your violin lessons. Again, if you're interested in working with me, I have a few spots available in my studio, so you can fill out that private lesson application. And Learn Violin Online is opening up in just a few short weeks. If you're interested in trying that out, get on the waitlist so you can be the first to know. Thank you so much for watching, and please make sure you're subscribed.